Go over to. Okay, we're going live right now. Let me know if we're live. Okay, we're live. Good evening, everyone. I'm Farah Morale. You are watching our Facebook live stream of this candlelight vigil that's just getting underway now at Olive Square Park at Yonge and Finch. As you can see, packed crowd behind me. They've been filing through this park throughout the day. PC leader Doug Ford actually just walked behind me. Throughout the day, we've been seeing notable people from the community, politicians, people across this community coming together to remember the victims of this horrific incident yesterday. I want you to take a quick look behind me. You can see just how large this crowd is. Some flowers have been set up alongside this concrete wall. Throughout the day, people have been coming here to write messages, and despite the rain, people are still arriving. And I'm actually joined by two people who have been here for a couple of days. Three people, actually. We have Rachel, Nicholas, and Noah. Tell me, first of all, what brought you here yesterday and then again today?
Well, they were here on the Sunday, and for things to happen yesterday is just unbelievable. It's heartbreaking, where our hearts go out to the families, the people who are injured, the victims especially. It's very unexpected in this city, and I wanted to bring them here because I wanted them to see that through this tragic time that that we have the support from the city, and that Toronto will overcome this tragic situation. Yeah.
Why did you think it was important to come here today?
Because we have to get memories of the people who died.
And yourself?
Yeah, I just wanted to say sorry for what happened yesterday on Monday, and Toronto, stay strong.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And I want to remind our viewers as well, throughout the evening, we will be reading out your comments from Facebook. So if you wanted to share your thoughts on this incident that happened yesterday, your memories, or anything under this whole banner of Toronto Strong, please comment on Facebook, and throughout the evening we will be reading those aloud. I am now joined by someone that may be familiar to you, a city councillor. Hello there.
Hi.
Hello there, John. How are you?
Okay.
Good. I see you just arrived here to the vigil. Tell us, first of all, how this community is responding to what happened.
Like, just with unbelievable grace, and like all that's good in people is what's coming out in this community. It's really just, I was going to say astonishing, but it's not really. You kind of know that people have that in them, but to see a whole community respond like this one has, it's through like such tragic times. People are sad, but they're also so looking after each other and caring for each other, and it's just wonderful, wonderful people.
10 lives lost in this incident yesterday, and so many others injured. How is this community? I mean, we're seeing them come together right now, but how are they responding to this incident? How are the people that you've been speaking to responding to this incident?
The people that I've been speaking to, who aren't the direct family and friends of the people who've been murdered and left severely injured, so I haven't spoken with those people. But even the people who witnessed it, and in some cases were there trying to administer first aid to people who didn't make it, are just remarkably still wanting to know, what can we do to help? How can we do something to make things better? Can you help us come together as a community? Just really extraordinary.
It's pouring rain right now, but it seems more and more people are arriving. I mean, what does it mean to see this kind of turnout here tonight?
People just want to be with other humans to share their pain and their sorrow, but also their caring. You know, it really makes you feel good about humanity, the way this community is responding.
John, thank you very much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a reminder as well, we will be reading some of your comments aloud throughout the evening, and I'm actually going to take a look at some of those right now as they are coming in. We have a message from George James, who said, many years ago, North York was called the city with heart. Tonight, the heart is bigger and stronger than ever. It will glow tonight and shine brighter in the morning. And again, that was George James from North York. I want to bring in another guest at the moment. His name is Safwan Chaudhry. He has been here since early in the morning with a large group. Safwan, first of all, tell me a little bit about the group that you are with and what you're doing here.
Well, today is a very, very difficult day for anyone. Starting yesterday as the attack took place and we lost members of our Toronto family. So today, hundreds and hundreds of members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and these are the Muslims who believe in the Messiah Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, have gathered here behind me, and they've been here since the morning in numbering in the hundreds. Why? Because we ache, grieve, and are in shock based on what has happened in our city. Sometimes when it happens so close to home, it is so shocking that it is still hard to believe this has actually taken place just a few steps away from where we are standing right now. However, today many, many people have been coming up to us because of our message of love for all, hatred for none. So we had these signs and banners called Love for All, Hatred for None, which is the motto of our community. And many people said that today they feel that they're at a loss for words. How do you in words express what has happened? And people felt that the message of love for all and hatred for none really gave them closure and composure, and we're happy to be able to provide that. And also we strongly believe and we teach to our members that Toronto is our big family. This is where our community's headquarters is, and yesterday we lost 10 members of that family. And we weep and we pray for the family members of those who have lost their loved ones, who had in some cases their whole life ahead of them. And while we realize that nothing will bring that back for them, we hope that our prayers at the very least will give them solace as they maneuver through this very difficult period.
We know this is such a multicultural community. One of the things that's been interesting to see is just how many people from different groups and backgrounds have come together. What does it mean to see not only your group but others coming here today? I mean, even looking at some of those posters on the wall, they're in different languages, yes. From different people. What does it mean to see people come together this way for this incident?
Well, this neighborhood is a very multicultural neighborhood. This city is one of the most multicultural cities in the world, and Canada is known for being an shining example of what multiculturalism should look like. You see, the example that we have an opportunity to set to all viewers around the world of how a nation, a city, a people have responded to hate, to violence. Sadly, an incident like this is not unknown to the world. When we look at London and Paris, what happened in Belgium and other parts of the world, what was attempted in Manhattan. But Toronto is special in the sense that instead of being fearful and divided, and a narrative of us versus them being created, rather right now there's a narrative of unity. People, as you mentioned, from different walks of life are here. They're sharing their messages. They're standing shoulder to shoulder, and everybody really in this city feels closer together in some cases than we ever have been before.
Safwan, thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate the message that you're putting out there. That's Safwan Chaudhry. And once again, if you're just joining us now, we are, this is a Facebook Live for the Candlelight Vigil that is being held tonight at Olive Square Park here at Yonge and Finch, just across the street from where this entire incident unfolded. In fact, just within the past couple of hours, police opened up the sidewalks on this street, and for the first time since this attack happened, people were walking on the sidewalks. flooding the streets and marching as a community. I'm going to check in now to see some of the messages that we're getting on Facebook. We're getting a few here now. The first is from Lynn Jones, who says, "My heart is with everyone, the brave officer, the many first responders who were on the scene, the families, the city of Toronto, stay strong." And she is from Corner Brook, Newfoundland, and she says that the whole city of Corner Brook, Newfoundland supports you all the way. We've actually got one more message here on Facebook. It's from Anne McComb-Heron, and she says, "Sending love and prayers from Ireland. Torontonians are resilient and will help each other heal. Sincere condolences to all those who are grieving. Bless you all." So as we can see from those messages, this what's happened over the past 24 hours has had such a tremendous impact, not just on the community here in Toronto, but across Canada and even abroad. Earlier we were talking about the efforts of this officer to take down the suspect in this case, and is being recognized from all across the world. I'm going to pause now and let you have a look at what's happening behind me. The vigil is actually just getting underway now with some speeches. I'll just pop out of the way here so you can see some of that. Okay. So there's some speeches underway. As you can probably tell, the crowd is actually growing since we first started here. They're sort of piling up behind the memorial, listening to some of those speeches. As I mentioned earlier, we have a number of politicians here. Doug Ford is here, John Foligno as well. From the City Council, quite a number of people here from the community that are familiar faces. In addition to, we're just also going to take a look now. It's a closer look at some of the posters that are on. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it's raining quite hard here, but still some of these posters continue to go up behind me. All right, we're going to speak to another person here at today's event. We are joined by, come here. What was your name?
Shy Sadowitz.
Shy Sadowitz. Shy, tell me what you're doing here today.
I'm here for the people who lost parts of their family, and I'm just here to say for the people who lost their family or in the hospital, stay strong with their hearts warm so they can stay alive.
That's a very nice message. Thank you very much, Shai. I really appreciate you chatting with me. Thank you. As you can see, people of all different ages here, not just different members of the community, some young and old people from across North York, and everyone that I've been talking to has been saying, very similar things, and that is that this attack has really hit home for so many people just because of the seeming random nature of it. A lot of people walk these streets regularly, especially during 1:30 in the afternoon when this all happened, and so this incident has really struck a chord with them in many ways. I'm going to check now again to see who is sending us some more messages on Facebook. And a reminder, if you want to share your thoughts on this vigil and the incident that happened here yesterday, comment on our Facebook page and we will share those. We have a message now from Jerry Ann Clifford who says, "What happened is almost impossible to absorb. Once again, we in Canada experience tragedy. The response to the tragic losses in Humboldt and now in Toronto just reminds me of the depth of feeling we all share, thinking of everyone affected, families, friends, neighbors, inherent goodness, and we don't see so often. My sympathies and heartfelt best wishes from Dundas, Ontario." And once again, that was from Jerry Ann Clifford. We have another message from Anne McCone, who's saying, "Sending love and prayers," again from Ireland. So another reminder to share those comments if you would like, and we will share those throughout the live stream here on Facebook Live. We are live until 8:30 tonight where this vigil is taking place. And though the speeches and stuff are starting right now, people have been here through the morning and even starting yesterday. I was down here late yesterday evening when this vigil, this memorial rather, started to grow. Even as late as 11:30, people were arriving and to lay flowers down, light candles, put up messages of respect and condolences to the people of this community. We'll take another look behind me to see what is happening. We know that there are a number of speeches that are going on tonight. We're hearing from a few local reverends, people from different communities, a rabbi. We will shortly be speaking to the organizer of this event as well, who started this quite spontaneously, actually. He told me that he wanted to create a place where people could come and talk about what happened, and that the community needed a place where they could collectively grieve. He went to Dollarama, bought some paper and pens, and just started really pasting things on the memorial wall behind me. And that's how this actually got started. It was just a couple people who live in this community. He told me as well that he actually came out of his office to see some of the bodies lying on the ground, a really traumatic sight that so many people witnessed yesterday as this was all happening. We will be speaking to him shortly before the end of our Facebook Live. Once again, we will check in with some of those messages that are continuing to come in the comments section. The next one is from Melissa Catherine. She says, peace and love to all, especially during this incredibly sad time. The next message is from Julia P. Amos, who says, as a former resident, I'm praying for the victims and their families. Stay strong and welcoming Toronto. Don't lose your heart. And finally, we have another message from Michelle Virdi, who says, this is the Canada I want. People supporting each other with kindness. Everyone welcome. Thank you to all those working to create that. I'm sorry to everyone suffering a loss in this case, and I wish you well. So if you want these messages read out loud, you can put a comment on our Facebook live stream for this vigil tonight. So this got underway at around 8 o'clock tonight. There are speeches happening right behind me now from different members of this community, people sharing their thoughts on and how this attack yesterday impacted the community. One thing that everyone has been saying as well is that this is a way that people can come together, a way that people can collectively grieve over this incident, which has left an impact on not just this community, as I said earlier, the city as a whole. We'll take a look again to see what's happening behind me as these speeches get underway. As you can see, people are continuing to arrive here. We have another message on that Facebook Live from Casey Howe, who is saying, Toronto is an incredible city, full of diversity, caring, and amazing people. It is awful what happened. My heart goes out to all those who've been impacted, but we won't let one crazy get us down. We are strong and united. We are Toronto. This is Canada. I want to go back to the incident itself that happened. We know that this morning the suspect appeared in court and has been charged with 10 counts, first-degree murder, 13 of attempted murder. He appeared in court this morning. Of course, a very emotional scene that unfolded there. Of course, right now the community here is focused on coming together and grieving the loss of these lives, these 10 lives that happened so quickly yesterday in broad daylight here in North York, just across from where I'm standing. Where this memorial is set up is just across from where the incident unfolded. We are getting another message from our Facebook, this time from Sam Sarah, who's saying, may the memory of each victim be a blessing and a consolation for their family. One of the things that's sort of struck me in speaking to people, as you could tell from some of the interviews that we've done so far, a lot of these people are complete strangers to these victims. They don't know them, they may not be related to them, but that doesn't stop them from coming out to be part of this event that's taking place here. This is multicultural but very tight-knit community. People are coming together to help each other, to support each other, and though they may not know who some of these victims are, they want to honor them. They want to remember them and let them know that they have the support of this entire community. It seems the rain is just getting harder and harder, but despite that, people just keep arriving, which is really striking. And I noticed that last night, even the later it got, it seemed more people just kept arriving to this scene, which, as you can see behind me, is quite full. I'll get you to take another look right there.
And selfless service to others. I just want to thank everyone who took their time to be here today. As the rabbi said earlier, your imams for favor. This is unity. So if I may, I just conclude with a small first story.
One of the things that's been so interesting about this vigil is just sort of how makeshift it is. It's probably tough to hear some of the speeches behind me. That's because those speakers were just set up very last minute. They didn't know how many people were going to show up to this event, but as you can see behind me, there are just so many people here at the moment, and more people continue to arrive. Everything has been sort of, organized very sort of casually, and it's quite incredible to see this many people come out to this event tonight. And a reminder, if you want to share your comments on the vigil and what's happening tonight, you can comment on Facebook and we will read those aloud. I'm going to get to a couple more of those comments right now. We have a message from Stacy, who is from Pickering, who says, Canadians are strong. I'm so proud of how we come together during heartbreaking times like these. A couple of more messages as well that have popped up on Facebook. One from Mark Hannelly, who says, one thing that tragic events like this show is the amazing humanity and love that everyone has coming together. That is the real Canada. We have a message now from Vanessa Moore Campbell, a Torontonian, who is saying, strong, praying for all the families that have lost their loved ones. I was so shocked when I heard about this accident. I was born in Toronto, and it is a great place to live, thinking of you all. Another message here from Vida Berouzier, truly sorry and sending my condolences to those who lost their loved ones in this horrific incident and heartbreaking tragedy. Our heart is with you and wishing you a tremendous strength to be able to get through this hard time. So lots of messages of condolences pouring in from Facebook. If you want us to share some of yours, please comment. I'm going to bring in a couple more people who are at this event so we can speak to people to get a sense of what their thoughts are. Hi there, how are you? Good. What's your name?
Maria Nunez.
Maria, and yourself?
Bahia Shurifi.
And what?
She's going to talk.
Okay, we'll chat with you. What brought you here tonight?
Well, we both live about a block from here, and we just wanted to come and support the family and the victims and spread the message just to care for one another and respond with love and unity in the community.
You live a block from here. This incident unfolded around 1:30 yesterday afternoon, on a street that was probably very crowded at this time. What was your reaction when you heard about what had happened in your community and basically a block away from where you live?
I think we were both really surprised. Actually, Bahia's mother passed away. We had a memorial for her the day before, and so we were just really appreciating the importance of life and living every day and not taking anything for granted. So it really hit home having the event happen the next day. But as I mentioned, I think it's just an important reminder to just spread love and live every day as the best you can. And I think this is a perfect example of that. People from diverse backgrounds coming together to support one another.
What does it mean to see such a huge crowd? I mean, I was here last night, it was busy. Now it's even busier tonight for this vigil. What does it mean to see so many members of your community here tonight?
Well, but he and I were chatting, and I think it's just a beautiful reminder that even in the face of tragedy, it's really a beautiful blessing and lesson to have people come together and to kind of look for the silver lining and just what we can learn from tragedies. And I think everyone here is just really sending their love and support to the families. I think as more people become aware of the event, I think there's just going to be more and more love and support for everyone out there.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of support in this community, but also from across the country. We've been getting messages from people in other parts of Canada and even abroad. What is it about this tragedy, this incident, that is bringing so many people together from everywhere?
Well, I think in this area, from my understanding, is pretty unprecedented, and so it was quite a surprising event. So I think that's bringing everyone together, and again, just to share that we don't want something like this to happen again, and so just for everyone to know that they're united and support one another.
Thank you both for sharing your time and your thoughts with us. Really appreciate it. Thank you. If you are just joining us right now, we are doing a Facebook live stream from the Vigil here at Yonge and Finch for the victims of yesterday's van attack. Through the evening, we've been speaking to people at this Vigil, different groups, different people who just live in the area who have popped by. As you can see behind me, it's quite full despite the weather. We've had local politicians show up, including PC leader Doug Ford, who was here earlier holding a bouquet of flowers and laying them down at this site. If you would like us to share your thoughts on this vigil and on the event that happened yesterday, you can comment on our Facebook Live stream, and we will read some of those comments aloud. I'm going to pop up some more now that have just come in. The next one is from Robert Samery, who says, the city and the nation are standing behind the TSB officer Ken Lamb, whose heroic work shows what professional, brave, and intelligent men can do in the service of the community. And I want to mention about Constable Ken Lamb. We spoke today to the Toronto Police Union, who told us that he has been overwhelmed with messages of love and support. He, of course, was the officer that single-handedly took down this suspect as he emerged from his car last night. It was a very dramatic scene that unfolded over multiple cameras that or people's phones really, that shot this incident over basically 30 seconds. And so he's been overwhelmed with messages of support from not only the union, from the police chief, and from others who said this was sort of a textbook case of how to de-escalate a situation like this that was unfolding. So that was Constable Ken Lamb, who was the one responsible for taking down the suspect in yesterday's attack. I want to get to some more messages now as well. The next is from Susan Cherry, who is saying, sending my heartfelt condolences to my hometown from Seattle. Canadians around the world grieve for the victims of this senseless tragedy. May the wounded be healed, and may the families and friends of the departed be comforted by happy memories of them. Another message too as well from Lisa Marie Graham. She says, my condolences to all those innocent people who have lost their lives so tragically, and for those who are still fighting for their lives, may God give us all these poor families tremendous strength and courage to overcome all their tough and sad days ahead of them. So nice to see many people united in the memory of these poor victims. Toronto, we stand with you all. Finally, we have a message from Ryan D. O'Keefe. He says, I've never been to Toronto, but because of this vigil, I'm not discouraged to visit despite what happened. Again, we're getting messages from all across the country and abroad. We've seen messages from Ireland tonight, messages of support. This wraps up our Facebook Live of the event, or we'll be wrapping it up shortly. If you do want to get in some of those messages, please contact us, comment on our Facebook group. We'll have time for one more person to join us, actually. Come on down over here. What was your name?
Karen.
Karen. And Karen, what brought you to this vigil tonight?
Just to show some solidarity to the victims and pay respect to the families of of this tragedy that unfortunately hit our city, and yeah, I guess it's just a solidarity.
Where are you from? Are you part of this community?
I am. I live just on Beecroft, and so I guess sorry. Yeah, I guess although I wasn't there when everything happened, in a way I still affected by the event, so that's why I'm here, showing that support.
So a lot of people who live in this community feel very affected by what happened, just because of, how random the attack was. A lot of people, as I said earlier, have said, it could have been me, it could have been someone related to me. We're here tonight for this vigil, though. What does it mean for you to see so many people come out and come together to honor these victims?
I think it only demonstrates the true colors of Canada, of Toronto. It goes beyond being a multiracial or multicultural community. It shows that when in times of grief, we all show support to one another, and we have all come together as one.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you very much. So we have been speaking to people at this vigil, which at this hour is still going on. I want you to take another peek over my shoulder to get a sense of what's happening behind me. There are still more people arriving at this hour. They're laying down envelopes and messages. They're starting to sing, as you can hear behind me. We'll let you take a listen to that. I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who has been commenting on our Facebook live stream and letting us read some of your messages of condolences out loud. I'll read a final few that have come in. This one says that from Sarah Ahmad, who says, "Toronto will rise. We love you. Stay strong. Sending love from America." This one as well from Harsh Malhotra, saying, "This is such a sad, senseless crime. I don't know how the families of the victims are going to overcome this. God bless everyone. Stay strong, people." And our last message is from Holly Prine Lomanto, and she says, "These acts of cowardice will only serve to make the bond between citizens, neighbors, and human beings stronger. Hate will never win in Canada. Thoughts and prayers to the victims and their loved ones." A very good message to end on here at the vigil at Yonge and Finch to honor the victims of yesterday's van attack. Thank you to all those who have been commenting on Facebook, and we'll leave you with some pictures of the vigil here tonight.